Senior High School on Air.
Senior High School on Air. The front line of quality and excellent learning.
Excellent learning. You have all the best of the best.
Best of the best.
Magandang umaga, handa na ba kayong matuto?
Handa na po.
Reading and writing.
Pagbasa at pagsusuri ng teksto tungo sa pananaliksik.
Practical research 1.
English for academic and professional purposes.
Ability and statistics.
General Biology 2.
Disciplines and ideas in applied social sciences.
Cookery and more.
Senior High School, best of the best.
Best of the best of the best.
Be a free thinker and don't accept everything you hear as truth. Be critical and evaluate what you believe in. A quotation from Aristotle. Good morning, dear listeners and students. This is your School on the Air in Introduction to Philosophy. I am so grateful to be with you again in this modality of learning. Truly, education continues despite pandemic. I am your radio teacher, Lilibeth Mimban Tabuyo. Before we start, make sure that you are comfortable in your place and you can clearly listen to our broadcast. Are you ready? I bet you are. This time, let's see if you have a prior knowledge about philosophy. We'll have a short warm-up activity. Bring out your notes and answer the following questions. I'll repeat the statements twice. Write the letter of the correct answer on your answer sheet. Number 1, it is generally defined as love of wisdom or the knowledge of things. A. Philosophy. B. Inquiry. C. Knowledge. I repeat. It is generally defined as love of wisdom or the knowledge of things. A. Philosophy. B. Inquiry. C. Knowledge. Number 2. It is a point of view which is defined as a way or a method how one sees or perceives the reality or a phenomenon. A. Philosophy. B. Partial point of view. C. Broad perspective. I repeat, it is a point of view which is defined as a way or a method how one sees or perceives the reality or a phenomenon. A. Philosophy. B. Partial point of view. C. Broad perspective. Number 3. Doing philosophy allows a person to blank and act accordingly to situations with the help of various philosophical skills. A. Make better decisions. B. Make choices. C. Make plans. I repeat, doing philosophy allows a person to blank and act accordingly to situations with the help of various philosophical skills. A. Make better decisions. B. Make choices. Or C. Make plans. Number 4. This is having a view where individuals understand both the whole and the parts of something, and how the parts, when brought together, make up the whole. A. Philosophy. B. Partial point of view. C. Holistic perspective. Again, this is having a view where individuals understand both the whole and the parts of something, and how the parts, when brought together, make up the whole. A. Philosophy. B. Partial point of view. C. Holistic perspective. And number 5, aside from knowing the self, many other activities also emanate from reflection. Which of the following is not included? A. learning from your previous mistakes and not repeating them again. B. Evaluating and knowing the best choice from a set of options. And C. All the choices. Again, aside from knowing the self, many other activities also emanate from reflection. Which of the following is not included? A. Learning from your previous mistakes and not repeating them again. B. Evaluating and knowing the best choice from a set of options. And letter C. All the choices. Are you done? All right, let's check your answers. Number 1 is letter A. Number 2 is letter B. Number 3 is letter A. Number 4 is letter C. And number 5 is letter C. Did you get it all?
Oh, yeah!
Great! I know you're ready to open the first chapter of your learning in Introduction to Philosophy. Buckle up because we'll do the first kick in this subject after this commercial. Buckle up because we'll do the first kick in this subject after this commercial.
Wow! Adobong manok! Ang sarap naman ng ulam namin. Ang bango pa. Kainan na.
Hep hep hep. Buknoy, may nakalimutan ka ata.
Ha? Wala kuya. Gutom na po ako kaya kumain na po tayo.
Buknoy, nakalimutan mong maghugas ng kamay. Lagi mong tatandaan, bago kumain, ugaliin nating maghugas ng kamay. Ang wastong paghuhugas ng kamay ay isang epektibong paraan upang matanggal ang bakterya at germs na lumikit sa ating mga kamay. Ito ay makatutulong upang maiwasan natin ang pagkalat ng sakit sa ating paligid.
Sige po kuya. Uugaliin ko na po ang wastong paghuhugas ng aking kamay bago kumain. Kainan na!
Ang kalusugan ay kayamanan. Isang paalala mula sa kagawaran ng edukasyon at ng himpilang ito.
It's still tuning to Science High School Best of the Best. Back to our lesson in Introduction to Philosophy. Of course, this is our first episode for the second semester. Are you happy?
Oh yeah!
I know you enjoyed our first semester. You have proven that nothing can hinder us in learning. So, we'll continue our academic quest with heightened love and determination. So just sit, relax, because today we'll explore the meaning and process of doing a philosophy, wherein you are going to distinguish a holistic perspective from a partial point of view. Realize the value of doing a philosophy in obtaining a broad perspective on life and do a philosophical reflection on a concrete situation from a holistic perspective. Did you read the lesson ahead of time?
Yes na yes.
That's great to hear. You can easily engage in our lesson today. So, what is holistic and partial point of view? A partial possible causal agents or factors, be it biological, theological, or any other factors. Correspondingly, what's the difference between holistic and partial point of view? The difference is, partial perspective is a view where one sees that a phenomenon is caused by a single factor, while holistic is a broader approach in understanding society. Further, the heuristic theory of holistic perspective explains that such looks at all aspects of the given problems or situation. This is a kind of system that aims to determine, explain the whole or totality of a given system by examining the behaviors and activities of a certain component parts. In this point of view, all aspects are given importance when making conclusions. All aspects are tied in together to form a general overview of the problem or situation. Example, a teacher listened first to both stories of her two arguing students before making any conclusion about the issue. Meanwhile, a partial point of view is a perspective that looks at reality based on a single or partial component of a system. It looks only at a limited number of aspects of the given problem or situation. In this point of view, conclusions are made based on considering some, but not all, sides of the problem or situation. Example, a teacher scolded student A after student B accused him of stealing her pencil. However, the teacher only listened to the story of student B and not student A before deciding to scold the student. Did you understand the difference between holistic and partial point of view? That's great to hear. I can feel your willingness to learn more. Willingness to learn more. Now, let me ask you, what do you think is the value of doing philosophy in obtaining a broad perspective on life? Alright, let's consider the words or phrases to be given emphasis on the question. The first, defining what is philosophy. Second, what is the value of studying philosophy? We don't do it as such. And third, what can one do to obtain a broader perspective of anything real, not just life? Well, philosophy is generally defined as the love of wisdom or the knowledge of things in general by their ultimate causes. It is a comprehensive and critical study and analysis of experience, whether it is consciously, deliberately, and rationally adopted on conviction, or consciously, deliberately, and rationally adopted on conviction, or consciously or unconsciously followed in life through faith or persuasion. Every man constructs for himself a fundamental philosophy as the basis of life, a theory of the relation to the world and the individual, and this shapes his whole attitude to life. Now, what is the value of doing philosophy? Alright, doing philosophy can be applied in day-to-day activities and life perspectives because it involves evaluative process. Doing philosophy allows a person to make better decisions and act accordingly to situations with the help of various philosophical skills. Philosophy as a body of knowledge provides methodologies and insights on how societal questions such as moral dilemma of euthanasia or same-sex marriage can be answered. There are 4 reasons why philosophy is as relevant as ever. Namely, number 1, philosophy is the foundation of critical thinking. Number 2, philosophy helps us live better. Number 3, philosophy has meaning in the business world. And 4, ancient philosophers continue to influence humanity. What about obtaining a broader perspective of anything real, not just life? As René Descartes said, it is not enough to have a good mind. The main thing is to use it well. Well, philosophy seeks not simply knowledge, but deep understanding and wisdom. Philosophy is an activity you undertake when they seek to understand themselves, the world they live in, and their relations to the world and each other. When you study philosophy, you're engaged in asking, answering, evaluating, and reasoning about some of life's most basic, meaningful, and difficult questions. Did you get it? Wow! Truly amazing and inspiring. My dear students, do you reflect every day? Have you realized what you want in life? Have you ever found yourself wondering about the things you experience or where your life is headed? You know what? As we grow older, our questions influenced by our experiences and circumstances, and we call that as philosophical reflection. This is a process by which a person undergoes a reflective state or evaluates his or her experiences first before making any related action. The use of philosophical reflection is important as it enables thought to be investigated using a deeper, holistic perspective. Remember, my dear learners, that a big part of living is spent pondering many questions, and our lives become more meaningful because we search for answers to these innumerable questions. This is the essence of philosophy, the search for answers to life's questions. Our ability to engage in philosophical reflection helps us develop beneficial skills which are deemed important in our daily situations, such as number 1, philosophy enables a person to develop a critical and analytical mindset in processing information and addressing certain issues encountered in life. Our ability to critically think helps us from being tricked by false claims and manipulative schemes. Number 2, philosophy helps us develop problem-solving and decision-making skills. It is through our engagement with philosophy that we learn how to analyze a problem and come up with alternative solutions. Is very important skill learned through philosophy. Number 3, philosophy trains us to become precise and clear in presenting our ideas and thoughts. As we engage in discussion and debate, philosophy enables us to convey our ideas precisely and clearly. And number 4, philosophy contributes greatly to the self-development of a person. In our quest to become a better version of ourselves, philosophy encourages us to understand ourselves, our strengths and weaknesses, our identity, and our very purpose in life, along with our engagement in the community, the nation, and the world. Alright, is everything clear, students? Oh yes, everything is clear and understood by all. This time, let us have a recap on what we discussed. As I emphasized earlier, my dear students, holistic perspective suggests that we can only understand the parts when we view them in relation to the whole, while partial perspective suggests that we only understand one component part of a whole. A partial point of view is a perspective that looks at reality based on a single or partial component of a system, whereas the holistic perspective tries to broaden the understanding of reality by taking considerations of other possible causal agents or factors. Moreover, philosophy as a body of knowledge provides methodologies and insights on how societal questions can be answered. Doing philosophy allows a person to make better decisions and act accordingly to situations with the help of various philosophical skills. Furthermore, philosophical reflection is a process by which a person undergoes a reflective state or evaluates his or her experiences first before making any related action. Any questions so far? Is everything understood by all?
Yes na yes.
Great! Now, are you ready and excited to take a short quiz?
Yes na yes.
Alright, prepare your notebook and we'll have your quiz right away after this infomercial. Stay tuned!
Huwag mo nga akong maiiyakan dyan. Hindi ka artista para magdrama-drama ng ganyan. O ano naman ngayon kung binubuli ka sa school? Mahina ka kasi kaya ganyan. Yung mga pinsan mo ang tataas ng marka, tapos ikaw ano? Pumasok ka na doon at mag-aral ka na. Ang napabayaan at napahabang bullying ay maaaring maging sanhi ng depresyon. Ang mga usaping ito ay hindi biro at hindi pawang kaartehan lamang. Isang paalala mula sa kagawaran ng edukasyon at ng himpilang ito.
Wow! Everybody's excited to take this exercise. This is an assessment if you learned and understood the topic discussed. You have nothing to worry because the quiz is very easy. I believed you can perfect it, provided you stayed and listened to the discussion via school on the air. Alright, please get a piece of paper for items 1 to 5. You are going to identify the perspective that is being described in its statement. For numbers 6 to 10, identify whether the statement is fact or bluff. I will be reading it twice. Ready? For number 1, farmers have problems in eradicating beetles, but before coming up with a solution, they consider the different impacts on the environment and will cause disaster. Again, for number 1, farmers have problems in eradicating beetles, but before coming up with a solution, they consider the different impacts on the environment and will cause disaster. For number 2, Anna is a member of a religious group. She claims that only their religion is teaching the true words of God. I repeat, Anna is a member of a religious group. She claims that only their religion is teaching the true words of God. Number 3, Juan condemns an artist that went viral for giving his or her opinion about the shutting down of ABS-CBN network. I repeat, Juan condemns an artist that went viral for giving his or her opinion about the shutting down of ABS-CBN TV network. Number 4, Winnet acts as mediator of her two friends having an argument rather than taking one side. I repeat, Winnet acts as mediator of her two friends having an argument rather than taking one side. Number 5, right after watching a TV show, a child concluded that everything she had watched is correct. I repeat, right after watching a TV show, a child concluded that everything she had watched is correct. Can you follow, dear students? Do you want more? Oh, yeah! That's good to hear. Let us continue. For number 6, philosophy helps us to engage in critical thinking. Again, philosophy helps us to engage in critical thinking. For number 7, philosophy is obsolete and is no longer useful in society. Again, philosophy is obsolete and is no longer useful in the society. Number 8, philosophy helps us to live better. Again, philosophy helps us to live better. And number 9, We are doing philosophical reflection when we analyze situations before making any conclusions. Again, we are doing philosophical reflection when we analyze situations before making any conclusions. And number 10, partial perspective is better than holistic perspectives. Partial perspective is better than holistic perspective. You really did well in our lesson today, my dear learners. Job well done. Alright, I will be giving you the answers for the next episode. Indeed, you learned a lot in this episode. So before I end, I just want to share the statement of Salvador Dali. Intelligence without ambition is a bird without wings. Again, thank you so much for staying with me. I hope that you had fruitful time spent in our lesson. Again, in behalf of SDO Isabela RBI production team and Richard Isguera, our scriptwriter, I am Teacher Lilibeth Mimbantabuyo, your radio teacher, signing off. I'll see you in our next episode.
Patuloy ang edukasyon para sa ating henerasyon.
Sa daan ng pagkatuto ay walang may iwan.
Kaya halina sa Radyo Eskwela.